Southwest Gas. But to start with, a little bit about myself. I started installing utilities actually 40 years ago, or for 40 years, a while back. And then I got into, that motivated me to get into design work, and I started designing storm drain pipelines. And then moved on over here about 6 years ago to Southwest Gas. And started as an entry-level engineer, and now I'm up into the engineering staff with our transmission integrity program. And we work with all the company, oversee all the transmission pipelines, work with all the divisions to make sure they're operating safely in accordance with all the federal and state regulations. So go ahead and let Robert tell you about himself.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Robert Johnson. Most recently graduated from UNLV a couple weeks ago, and I've been in the internship program at Southwest Gas for about 6-7 months now. I came across a program through an on-campus recruitment that Southwest Gas did on campus, and ended up with the internship assisting Mr. Kalina in the Transmission Integrity Management Program. Most recently, I've moved over to the division level and have assisted in engineering design revisions. Plan on continuing my education, getting an MBA, my professional engineering certification, while still, getting project management and engineering experience. So Brian will tell you a little about what we're going to talk about today.
Okay, so real quick, if you get anything out of this presentation, this is the number one thing I want you to take away is, if you don't already have an internship, do everything you can to go out and try to search for one, try to get in one in the field that you want to get into, because it'll make the hugest difference for you, for your career, and it'll help you get a better understanding of where you're going. That's number one. Number two is that the natural gas industry does have a lot of opportunities for electrical engineers. I'm assuming pretty much, are all of you guys electrical engineers? Anybody not an electrical engineer? Okay, we got a few. But you're all engineers? Okay, good. So, but the natural gas industry does have a lot of opportunities, and there's, it's really booming right now. There's going to be a lot more opportunities in the future, so keep your minds open to that. So, just a roadmap of what we're going to be talking about. We'll give you a company overview of what Southwest Gas does, give you a little background on the internship program, tell you about our rationale, why we do what we do, talk about some of the mentoring relationships that are established in the program, what's the value to the company, and what's the value and impact to the intern. And then we'll go ahead and close, and we'll have a Q&A session probably after they present, and you can ask whatever you want. So with that, go ahead. So just real quick, show you some of the facilities you see around town. How many of you do not have one of these on the side of your house? Do you know what this is? It's a natural gas meter set assembly. So you all have natural gas in them. Okay, well, that's good. Usually we get a big load of hands and we take their names down and try and sign them up afterwards. You guys are easy, making it easy for them. So commercial meter set is the same principle. It measures the gas, cuts the pressure down, and that's just on a larger scale for commercial applications. This is when you walk near your dog along the sidewalk and he stops to sniff around that box. Okay, that's a regulator station box where we cut pressure. You can move, and that's what you'll find down in their valves and equipment to cut the pressure. And this, we'll see a few of these around our different city areas. This is where we actually take custody of gas coming into the city and cut pressure down and odorize it so it's good and safe. That's a tap site. And for you electrical engineers, you probably love all of this kind of equipment. Here's inline inspection tools. This is getting a lot more popular. They call them pigs because of the noise they make, especially the older ones. They used to squeal like a pig as they shoot down through the pipeline. But they use these to inspect the pipeline and see if there's any anomalies or anything in the still line. And then here, of course, if you have a pig, you need a pig launcher to launch them into the pipe. So that's what this is. All right, so company overview. We are a natural gas distribution company, 1.9 million customers, about 2,200 employees, annual revenues of 1.9 billion, and we do serve Nevada, Arizona, and California. Our internship program rationale basically is to provide opportunities for any engineering students, typically engineering students, who are interested in the natural gas industry. And that's what mentorship or internship programs do. And with that, we help instruct them and teach them in the ways of the industry, and that helps to increase our applicant pool because there's not a lot of people running around with natural gas specific experience, and this helps to increase that. And then, of course, it's just part of our culture. We do a lot of investing in the community and trying to make the communities that we serve better, and that's part of what we do. So random trivia. I know engineers like trivia, right? So what best resembles the smell of natural gas? Is it A, gingerbread, B, rotten eggs, C, interior of a Lexus, or D, clean air? Or a combination of any?
B.
B? Any other? You say clean air? Okay, you're all, if you take both of your answers, combine them, you're all right. So B and D. Once we odorize it, that will make it smell like rotten eggs, but before that, it's totally no smell. All right. So here's an overview. Basically, we have many different departments at the company. A lot of those departments will look at about this time of year, see how many interns they will need to bring on, how many they can afford to bring on, and also the interns have to meet certain requirements. That will be common with a lot of the internship programs you get into. Typically, we require a 3.0 minimum GPA and then minimum 10-week commitment from May to August because of the training that goes on. That you can't be missing more than a week of vacation. It throws you off from the training schedule. And then, of course, the bulk of it is the hands-on experience that the interns gain. They actually get right into the departments that they're set to go with based on their skills and strengths, and they start working with experienced engineers right away and getting opportunities to grow and see the professional world in action and develop their skills. And as they show more ability, of course, more and more responsibilities are given to them. And then the lunch and learn sessions is really an awesome part of the program that I haven't seen in other programs quite like this, but every single week about there will be different levels of upper management all the way up to the directors, supervisors, managers, directors, and even the vice president of the company has been in some of those, where they will present on different topics and help give the interns better experience training on a lot of different topics.
I'll probably tell you. Yeah, I'll touch on a couple of those. So early on, like Brian said, not a lot of people have experience in natural gas. So early on, we got an industry overview of the natural gas industry. We also had an opportunity to learn a little bit about the company in general during another session. Some of the cool opportunities that we really had was one of the directors in the company actually collected all the resumes from the interns and went over them and was able to provide feedback. And then that lunch and learn session that week was just about interview preparation and how to conduct yourself in that setting. We also had presentations on business etiquette, how to conduct yourself when you go out to lunch with the boss. And then one of the best opportunities we had was to sit around and kind of have a roundtable discussion with some upper management, some directors, some VPs, and just pick their brains on how they got to where they were, their successes, and their career paths, and try to get as much advice from them as we could.
All right, thanks, Rob. So that's something definitely, when you get into an internship, take advantage of every opportunity that you can to ask questions to people. All levels of management, don't be afraid to talk to them. And here's a secret, if you all remember this, it'll help you. How many of you guys are shy? Kind of talking to people is a little difficult. Oh, okay, we've got a room full of extroverts. Most of you guys are a little shy, but that's all right. If you are shy, always remember, if you go and start talking to somebody, just try and find out about them. Keep your focus on, asking them questions about themselves. I guarantee you won't find very many people who don't like to talk and tell you about themselves, and find somebody who will listen. So take time to ask them about themselves. Why you do what you do, and I promise it'll help you. So intern rotation, that's another thing we started up this year, which is really a good idea that somebody came up with. It wasn't me. But we take the interns for a day, and they do a swap. So they get to try and find out where they're interested in going and allow those interns to go over and work in a different department, whether it's corporate to division office. So they get a totally different experience. Robert can tell you about a little bit of what he had.
Yeah, I like to take credit for the intern rotations being this year. So we basically what it worked was we kind of expressed to our managers what we were interested in. For me, and talking to Mr. Kalina, it was construction. So my first intern swap, I got to swap with one of the construction interns at the division level. And aside from having to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning, it was a good experience. I got to kind of see how the different departments interact, how construction interacts with engineers. That engineers are never right, construction's always right. And then I had different opportunities to go to, I had another swap where I got to go to the lab and do some testing down there. And just in general, it gives you a good opportunity to see how the company functions as a whole, how different groups interact with each other. It's not just your group, it's different pieces going together to make the whole thing work. So it was a really cool opportunity and should be something implemented.
Okay, thanks, Robert. Okay, so as they come in, we definitely establish some mentoring relationships. The interns will each have a direct supervisor, and a lot of times they'll also have a direct working experienced engineer that takes them under their wing right away. And the supervisor will make sure, gauge the process of the intern's experience, make sure his needs are being met, make sure they're getting the experiences that are helping them develop and learn about the industry the way the program is supposed to. And then, of course, in the lunch and learn sessions and throughout their daily activities, they're interacting with upper level management, and they have access to ask tons of questions to find out all they want to find out about the company and gain information that will actually benefit them if they ever do try to apply for a position at the company. So take advantage of that when you're in your internship. And then, of course, experienced coworkers are constantly working around and gaining information from them. So the value to the company, of course, the increase the industry job applicant pool. We have the internship is pretty much like an audition. Remember that, and you go. It's a chance for the company to really get an understanding of you and your strengths, and it's a chance for you to showcase those strengths and your abilities, and in a way that you're not able to convey that in just a one-day or a half-day interview. You also have Southwest Gas internal systems and culture training, or wherever you're at. Take advantage of learning the internal processes and those things that will give you all the more advantage when you go to try and apply. What the benefit that gives to us, of course, is less training when if we do hire a former intern. Then the interns completed. The interns, by the end of the summer, a lot of them are very advanced in picking up a lot of the tasks and doing the tasks that some of the experienced engineers are doing. So they help with our workload, and they also bring a ton of new ideas. You guys are just coming out of school fresh with working with the most recent programs and a lot of the new theories and ideas. Those things are excellent to come into the company with. And then, of course, it helps. A lot of times we're able to put some of our newer managers with interns, and it helps to train them. We practice and try out on the interns, so it works good. Okay, another random trivia for you all. Gas streetlights lit the city of Washington, D.C. as early as which president's administration? George Washington? Not quite, but Abraham Lincoln, if you can believe that, 1861, they had gas lights. All right, so value to the intern. Yes, they get an idea of what the company culture is like, which is huge. Okay. They get an idea of the different positions that are available in the company. When you're in an internship, scope out the company, scope out where you'd like to go. Take time and ask, find out where you would like to go and what do you need to know to be able to get into that spot. It also gives you industry insight, especially at Southwest Gas. There's information they gain that they will not gain in school. Some of the information about regulations coming out, things like that, specifically they'll get from the company. Work experience, which is another huge thing that Rob will tell you a little bit more about it. I know when I'm looking at resumes, if I got a straight A student, he's just brilliant on paper, and I got a B student, he looks pretty good, but the B student has some experience, work experience, and he's able to show that he's been able to hold a job and things, and that's going to help move that resume closer to the top, and make him a lot more competitive with that straight A student. So. And then business communications training. They are constantly interacting with management, different employees, verbal, written, and presentation skills they gain from internships, and you'll gain. And of course, interviewing and resume skills, which is that specific one of the topics that they did teach in the lunch and learn session. And they take a whole hour of lunch and go through, these are some resume and interviewing skills that'll benefit you. So it's good value. And then of course, interns typically don't work for free, so they get a little cash too.
All right, so I'll just talk a little bit about the impact that Southwest Gas internship has had on me. If you guys are like me at all, at some point in your education, you probably questioned whether or not you wanted to be an engineer, or if engineering was something that you wanted to do. You took a class or something that was just too difficult. So having an internship in an engineering-related field kind of like reassures that you are going to school for something that you want to do. It's something that you want to continue pursuing. So if you're questioning it at all, before you just give up on it, you should at least give an internship and give some work experience a try, because it's a lot better than going to school. Also, the significance of continuing education. So, you're not just going to stop learning once you're done with school. I'm talking to lots of upper management stuff at Southwest Gas. Many of those people have MBAs, they have their professional engineering licenses. Any industry you go to work in, especially if you guys are in technology, it's going to be dynamic, it's going to be changing. So you don't want to just settle and let somebody younger than you or someone coming out of school just pass you up. And then the importance of professionalism. I spent my first couple months at Southwest Gas in the corporate office, so especially being in the corporate office, being around upper management, VPs and stuff, you start to value the importance of being professional and being professional in the workplace and how to conduct yourself, where to go for answers, time management, just all kinds of different skills that you wouldn't learn really from class or being in school. And then overall, just the benefit of mentors and how to obtain a mentor. Like Brian was saying, it's hard to get a job if you don't have any work experience. An internship provides that for you, but not only that, it also gives you the opportunity to get close with someone who could be a mentor for you moving down the road. Mentors can provide contacts or different things that you wouldn't be able to obtain by yourself. I'm sure you can't really get through school all by yourself. If you have, you're a better person than I am. But yeah, having a mentor to guide you along the way definitely will help. So thanks, guys.
All right.